Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Chapter 1 and Beyond. And it is that time again where I am going to go through my September wrap up. And I'm shocked at how many personal records I have been breaking lately. Today, I'm here to tell you that I have read 21 books in the month of September. Yep, you heard that. 21 flippin' books. I guess my reading speed is definitely increasing, um, to say the least. So today I'm breaking down my star ratings, from the best of the best to the ones that didn't quite work out for me. So let's just dive right into it. So, starting at the top with my 5-star books, there are ones I couldn't put down, and some that you guys are going to be really, you gave that a 5 star. I mean, honestly, um, I get that a lot. I'm going to be honest. But yes, there were quite a few that are on this list, from the 21 books I finished. And, let's just dive rapid fire into it. I'm not going to give you too much of a description. I'm trying a new format with these wrap ups. So let me know, feedback wise at the end of this. I would love your feedback on it. So, book one, Carrie by Stephen King. Um, let's just say bullies suck and teenage angst is a thing. The mom was definitely nuts, but it was so good. Book two, My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Loved it through and through. It was definitely a page turner and felt bad for the main character because she knew something was up. Some of the scenes were like, holy crap, but overall, I absolutely loved and devoured this book. The next on my list is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. Originally, my daughter picked this one up, and I'm actually now obsessed with it. So, I really love the characters, Elsie and Amari Peters. I felt like they were the perfect duo. Dylan, in this book, what the hell? So, I really can't wait to continue this series, regardless of it being a middle grade book. I was very intrigued and I devoured it. Okay. So, Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab is another one I finished up in September. Gave it a 5 stars. I mean, what's not to love about V. Schwab? I mean, her masterful storytelling, her characters. I love the fact that the LGBTQIA plus representation was in this one. I wanted more of some of the characters, but it was really well done, and I really loved the pacing of this. Now, this next one is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion based off of what I've been seeing across BookTube and all that. But the next one I gave a 5 star and I finished in September was How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. I was introduced to this by the Book Troop book club, that is done through Gabby Reed's channel, and I gotta say, this is a book that I don't think I've read anything like it. And I think that's why I loved it so much because I loved the backstories and the context of the authors that were invited to this estate. And I just, the pacing, I just kept wanting to devour it and keep going because I really was curious on who was going, um, to be up next. And, like, yes, it was like, repetitive in some parts. I will admit that. But the creep factor and the gore and just the overall riddles and game that they were being pulled into and just the overall of this was really, really cool. So, I mean, well done to Mallory Arnold since this was a debut novel for her. So this next one is actually a nonfiction pick that I finally picked up. Um, I'm really surprised that this was like my very first one for 2025, but the book that I also gave a 5 stars is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay C. Gibson. This nonfiction book is something I needed for some time, and I've been really diving into my mental health and exploring mental health topics on a deeper level, and this book was just absolutely perfect. It had activities and patient stories to back each of the topics that were brought up in this book. I wish I didn't the only thing I wish I didn't do was devour this on audiobook because I kept having to go back just so that I could participate in the exercises. So, but overall, I definitely would recommend this if you are looking into topics related to mental health. Um, this next one's pretty much obvious because I was just so hyped up over this book anyway. Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. One word, Max, so good. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait for March of 2026. I physically do own this book. Absolutely gorgeous sprayed edges. That's what like intrigued me to even pick this book up, but I wish that people would talk about this book more. But yeah, absolutely obsessed. 5 stars, hands down. The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. She is by far now my new favorite author. Her sense of storytelling is so good. The narrators for the audiobook, chef's kiss, so good. And overall, I love the rhymes and like the storytelling in between the chapters. That was really really cool and totally different than what I've experienced with a book. I really love that it was like kind of an alternative history type twist, because it actually had like the suffrage movement, mentions in the book. So I've never really read anything like that, and I really loved it. After reading Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, I had to pick this one up, and now I just have to find more books that are related to her. Um, and this was also a physically owned book that I had, so this gets knocked off my list. Um, Finally, with this next book, Ruin and Rising by Lee Bardugo, I finally finished the Shadow and Bone trilogy. After a 4-year break from initially reading this, it's been long overdue. I was so happy to be back into this, like with Mal and Alina, the Darkling. It was just so good. Definitely recommend this series. It's a young adult fantasy, but just everything about it is so good. Um, Now I only have two more that I gave a 5 star rating on this. So the next one is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I devoured this book via Audible at 2 speed in a single day. I could not stop listening to this audiobook, and it was just so good. Um, and I mean I'm very much into Dante's Inferno in like m- um like different adaptations of like journeys into hell and things like that, but this one was super unique. It like incorporated academia with like the journey into hell and I was just like, okay, I'm all for this is 100% fantastic. I mean, there were some parts where like I felt like it went way over my head and I felt like I had to go back and re-listen to it, but I still was able to finish it in one single day. I love the characters and the build throughout. Just hands down, I cannot not give it a 5 stars. And then finally, the 11th book that I gave a 5 star is Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. What's there to say? I have read this in the past. It was like 2020, 2021 when I read this previously, but still incredible through and through. Diving into Hellbent is the reason why I picked this one up, but and then I'm getting ready for book 3 that's coming out in 2026 of this series. But I mean, Alex Stern, Galaxy Stern is like legit an amazing character. I love the secret societies and Skull and Bone and Leafy House and just everything about this book series just screams like perfection. Like I don't know. I personally could not put this down and I was very intrigued. Like I just want to keep getting more of this particular series. But so now that I've completed my list, I want to know what was your 5-star read this month. I want to know. I really do. So reach out. I have Facebook, YouTube comments, Spotify comments, whatever means that you devour this podcast. I want to know what your 5-star read was this month. All right. So next up is my 4-star pile. And I promise it's not as deep and heavy as my 5-star pile, but these were really solid reads that I enjoyed, but just had one or two small things that kept it from being perfect. So the first one on that list was A House Between Earth and the Moon by Rebecca Sherm. And I was very excited about this one because not only did it fulfill a prompt for Herkyed 2.0, I just love the cover, and I thought, like, since it's been on my shelf for so long, I thought, hey, this is gonna be awesome. I really did enjoy it, but felt like it dragged in some parts, and then the whole ickiness of using scientists for a corporate agenda just made me pissed. And it's not really a, spoiler that I just said. Not really. Like that is a very broad bit of what happens in this book, but there's just parts throughout the book that just made me feel ick, and I don't know. I just personally wasn't expecting the book to go in the direction that it did, but I did enjoy it, and I think anybody that is looking for something in like sci-fi that's a little different than just a space exploration or colonization and things like that, I think this would still be a book for you. This one I physically own, like I mentioned, so that's another one that's off of my physical TBR list. The next one that I gave a 4-star, The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Now, after reading From the Tales of the Hinterland by Melissa Albert, I absolutely love that book. And I wish I didn't ruin it by reading that book, because I feel like if I would have read it in the correct order, I still would have, you know, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But, um, I had already, like, with recently reading the Tales from the Hinterland, I still enjoyed it. I loved the characters and bits, but there was just, the knowing of what to anticipate, I guess. That's what kind of knocked it a star, if you will. So, and then lastly, for my 4-star reads, The Stand by Stephen King. um, what's there more to say about this book? It's a pandemic, and I'm still trying to recover from COVID 19's pandemic. So, what's there more to say than people dropping like flies? Some scenes I felt were way too much, like way too graphic and way too detailed. I think they went way too far. Some of the vocabulary usage, if you know, you know why. I was like, ugh, this is just not not for me, I think. But I did enjoy, like, like seeing like the different sides, and then the bullying and stuff that happened within this book. It was a little it just made me feel sad and so many different emotions. But I felt like it was just way too long. It could have been cut in half, maybe because I read the uncut version. I wish I didn't do that, but that was the only thing that was available at the library at the time. So, I mean, I felt personally that it just dragged too far. It could have been sliced in half. But I'm just curious, would you guys pick up any of these or pass on them? So, all right. So, going on to my lower end of the list. So, these are my 3-star books. They were fine, not bad, not amazing, just fine. So, a lot of these I will mention that I felt like these were more of like mood reads. Like you had to be kind of in the mood and had the right timing with them. So Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. That was definitely a cute, cozy mode type book. It kind of felt like a side quest in Dungeons and Dragons, but um, I don't think like the timing was great for me, so that's why I'm hoping to revisit it either, in 2026 or 2027 since I physically own this book. And I'm hoping that, I'll give it a higher rating because everyone rants and raves about this series. So, and the same for Legends and Lattes. I did finish that one also in September. Um, I mean, I devoured these books like pretty quickly because they're like short to the point, like page turners, but they were fine, but just, I have a feeling it was literally just the timing. The next one on the docket was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I was mainly looking to make progress with A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I did not realize that this was like kind of like a Christmassy episode. I guess I should have like looked into that a little bit further, but I was definitely not in a Christmas mode. So I mean, I love Fira and Rysand and like being back in their world again, but um, I really wish I would have waited until like December to physically read this. But the great thing is I physically own it. I would reread it, just not the right timing for a September read, if you will. Um, and then I read this graphic novel, Lore Olympus, Volume 2 by Rachel Smythe. I will say the artwork, absolutely gorgeous. So, so good. I love the artwork in this graphic novel, but when it got into more of like the romance content, if you will, I am not a romancy type girl. Believe it or not, yes, I read and devour A Court of Thorns and Roses and Phantasma and things like that, but um I cannot get into this one. So unfortunately I am not continuing this series as much as I want to because there's 9 volumes in this one. But I mean, I love that it's a graphic novel. I love the artwork. They did a very well job, like good job on the artwork. Like I will say that. But yeah, I had a really hard time finishing this one just because of how much emphasis there is on the romance and like the friends, and yeah, it's just not my thing. So I'll just say that. It may be someone else's cup of tea, but for me, Persephone and Hades, like I'm very interested in that topic, but I think this particular adaptation just doesn't work for me. So yeah. And last but not least of my 3-star reads was Myra by Nikki Gonzalez. So I debated big time between a 3 or 2 star for this one, but was but this one in particular was not what I was interpreting about, based on the blurb that I read for once. So I thought it was a cool concept and thought meh, but was definitely bored in most parts. I got through it, yay, but it was just meh for me. Um, I mean, it helped me fulfill a prompt for Herkia 2.0, so I mean, and at least, I got it from the library, so I don't have to worry about, saying, well, now I'm just getting rid of this book. So, but yeah, I'm curious, what was the last meh book you guys read? Because I am very curious, because, like, everyone has that meh book, and maybe it might be an unpopular opinion, or it might relate to what I just mentioned. So, so, and then finally, the major struggle pile, my 2 and 1 stars. Quite frankly, this pile has nothing but 1-star books on it for this month. So, the first one, Dearest by Jackie Walters. Just like my opinion with The Need by Helen Phillip. If you have seen any of my earlier works on YouTube, I know I mentioned this book. I just I it, this particular book just was not my thing. I thought, oh, creepy, early motherhood days and like the kids creeping her out because there's crazy stuff happening with like the kids' toys and stuff, but it was just there was just so much emphasis on the early motherhood exhaustion and breastfeeding, and it's just not my thing. I was just really bored with most of the parts, and then I was hardly scared with this particular book. Yeah, there were good few jump scares, but I don't know. It just was unnecessary in my opinion, like focusing mainly on the motherhood and the exhaustion, and whether or not she's questioning if if it's actually happening or not. But I get it. I'm a mom too, but I just not for scary books or horror genre books in my opinion. And then last but not least, A Good House for Children by Kate Collins. I felt like the beginning of this was beyond boring, not what I was expecting, but overall, I can say it's not for me. But not every book is for everyone. Maybe you love these and I just didn't vibe with them, but tell me if you disagree. Maybe you can convince me to reread them and kind of look at it from a different perspective. But you know what? That's, that's just how it is. So but yeah, that's my September wrap up. 21 books total, lots of highs, some middles, and a couple I'd find, never seeing again. And glad I didn't waste my money on it because many of these came from the library or the Libby app. So, yay for that on saving money. If you have read any of these books, let's chat about them. I love hearing your takes, and if you added anything to your TBR because of this episode, I'm sorry, but also you're welcome. But thank you for hanging out with me. I'll be back with my next episode, and I'm actually really excited to announce too that I do have a new schedule rolling out. These past episodes, I've really been experimenting, and I'm really ready to level up to level 2 in my journey with this podcasting. And I'm just really excited because I feel like this schedule and what I have planned for the upcoming months, if not going forward, I feel like it's just something that needs to be done and I'm excited for it. So look forward to some bonus content, mini episodes releasing on Tuesdays and Thursdays now, alongside my Friday episodes. We'll see how it goes because I have some fun new formats planned for the bonus content and all that. But I'm just beyond thankful for all the love and support from many. I never realized many would actually listen to these episodes and then listening to this creative project that I am pretty much doing for myself. But now that I see that there are others that I can connect with and vibe with, I'm just really excited and just overall hopeful on trying to grow this project and build this foundation that I've built. So, but until then, happy reading and may your next book be a 5 star and your coffee strong enough to power through your day. Take care, guys. Bye.